Last time on Lawful Stupid. So we pick back up as you guys are departing from New Havenhold, and you guys are in this caravan. It's about a 3-day journey.
Darling would trot alongside the caravan in like her fox form, just kind of like nose her way into things like along the path.
You both hear and then see the scattering of these reptilian-looking flying creatures.
There's probably something dangerous ahead.
And it's not long after that you guys hear an explosion. You see what can only be described as an airship. And the airship has crashed into the ground, and you can hear shouting and fighting as these monsters, these big winged monsters, are attacking this airship, and the people aboard are trying to fend off.
Well, anybody who's not a coward, let's go. May you stay here. Don't even fucking leave this cart.
And this alpha looks dead at you, Gus, and you hear a low guttural roar. The low guttural roar of this gargoyle-esque monster as it is going to attempt to crash Gustum's party.
Oh, bother. I guess my best way to poo. I'm not good at that.
It's pretty good. So, yeah, he's essentially going to his goal is going to be to land where you are, and in his mind, disrupt this soup, right? Because it's a magic spell. You can't just like kick it over and stop it. But the monster don't know that, and then attack you and potentially anybody else, like to cause sheer havoc and mayhem. So that's going to be a body, and I will say, it's like a medium impact. At very least, it's going to fuck you up if he's successful.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say, Dwayne, as your DM in this moment, if you want to go ahead and fuck up Gustum, you can do that with a moderate impact. But if you want to cause this mayhem and try to be running around and doing that's going to be kind of a low impact spread. I'm just talking shit right now. You're the boss. I'll do it.
Oh, wait. No. Please tell me more.
I'm just talking shit. You do whatever you want, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm just saying medium impact because it's gonna, at the very minimum, it's gonna disrupt you and potentially put down some of these people that are trying to get up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna roll. And
I rolled a 5 + 2 for a 7.
I don't remember why you're rolling, so why don't you refresh me?
Because you're attacking me. Well, this is, you know what? You and I play narrative combat a little bit differently. I do everything as like saving throws when against people. So like the monster goes to attack you. It's attacking you with body, roll body. But that's not really written out. So,
but what is it? I'm open to it. What is the goal? So like if you get higher than his body, you take no damage, or you take reduced damage. Like what does that look like? The success is weakened towards you.
So the way that would look is, hey, this monster is attacking you. It's attacking. It's coming with its claws. It's going to be a body. So go ahead and try to defend yourself. Roll body. If you rolled in the fail category, you're going to take what I think is the maximum amount of damage it's going to do. If you roll mixed success, I'm going to take that down a notch. And if you roll success, you're going to take the least amount of damage.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That way, you as the DM can't just whiff.
Yeah.
You're always doing damage.
Well, and it's like it gives you control over your character.
in narrative combat does want the players kind of rolling the dice as much as possible, while you, the DM, get to kind of do this whole fun, elaborate thing.
I agree with that. Yeah, so you rolled a 7, which means you can take minimal damage, if any. He rolled a 6, so he succeeds but at a cost. So this monstrous, scale-covered, winged, gargoyle-esque beast leaps and does a couple big beats of its wings, and it comes crashing down next to you, Gustum. And if your magic soup pot needed to stand, which it doesn't, needed to stand, the ground where he lands, like the deck, shatters essentially, and like the boards and stuff are difficult to traverse. But for him, he doesn't give a shit. And so he's going to... I'm going to let you make a choice, Gustum. You can take minimal damage and maintain your healing spell without issue, or you can have should I take minimal damage? Nah, I rephrase. You're gonna take minimal damage. I was gonna try and give you a choice there, but there's not a lot since you had such a good body check. Oh, I figured it out. You can take minimal damage with your success, or you can take more damage but protect the crew around you.
I'll take more damage. I'll bump that to a moderate.
I like this choices thing you're doing.
I'm trying to give you guys more choices versus just like, oh, that's what I want to do. Give you some potentially ideas. But in this case, Gustum is just going to take some owies. I didn't roll that well. You're going to take... I'm going to say it's bludgeoning damage because he's not necessarily trying to claw you. He's just wailing with his wings and everything, almost like in a flurry to try and attack these people, but you end up taking the beating. So you take 9 bludgeoning damage. It's not that much. Rolled pretty low. All right. So the overall impact of that, because he has a success, the morale of the crew that was fighting that big guy kind of wanes a little bit as he leaves. Now they're still fighting what's left up there, and hopefully Paul Bear or whatever will be able to instill some more of that. So now we've got this big, monstrous alpha type deal next to you, Gustum, on the lower deck. Then there's 2 up on the upper deck that's kind of slanted, that are tied together, and then the remaining 4 are still fighting the crew up on the top level. Just to reset the scene, as it's been a week.
Are the wrestlers with the crew on the top level fighting?
The
just
wrestlers,
to get a picture where they're at.
Yeah, they would have went back up to fight after they brought you the bodies. They're not going to stand down there while you're healing people.
Cool. And we've completely forgot about the crossbowmen. So we should
no, I haven't. You have, but they are in position.
When I said we, I meant us. I'm just
saying they're in position at the bottom of the ship at this point, so they can move up or whatever or start firing, but they are in position. 100%.
Yep. Cool.
And Avon's still using her Aegisaur as a form of keeping them all, except for the big guy who kind of flew over it. The littler guys are still staying on that top end of the deck. They don't want to be within range of the Aegisaur. So that brings us back around. Who wants to act?
Where in conjunction, if I'm climbing up, because originally I was climbing up to get to this guy, assume I've climbed to the top. Am I able to look down at him and be within like a jumping to him distance? Or did he like float a distance down that's too far away for my character? He
leaped up with a couple big wing flaps, and he's on the bottom of the airship now. That said, you can turn around, and you have clear sight of him. There's a couple like objects in the way.
So we're on the same level. No.
What?
We're on the same level.
No, because he's on the bottom. the flat side. You are up on the top of where the engine is up in the air on
so
fire
I'm above
still.
him. Yeah.
You're above him, absolutely. Good. So you could leap. I will tell you, it's a distance. Not that you could not make it, but
here's what I want to happen.
Have a bad cost. It could be bad.
Well, because I'm going to stay true to what I said before we got started. So first, I want to use if I use the arch or the people with the bows or whatever, crossbows, is that using my turn or is that me just directing them?
No, they can just be involved in what you're doing. It doesn't have to consume
I'll shout and wave
because
I'm up high, and hopefully it would have their attention and say, "Archers, kill the big one."
Okay.
So hopefully aiming them, and I will point. And then and then I will take off running. And as I do that, I look at my paw. I'm going to jump to him, right? But I see some blood from where I got scratched earlier. And as I jump, I sort of faint as I'm jumping out toward this character.
Okay. I will say heart, because you're commanding the archers to shoot, the guards to shoot, and heart because you're essentially grappling with your own fear mid-jump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think body really applies in this context because you can jump pretty far. But so yeah, heart it is. And I'm gonna say medium impact. I think this can be pretty effective, depending on your success.
Here we go. It's a 2.
It's a 1.
Well, I add 1 to it, right?
Yeah, but it's still a crit 1.
1s and 6s are still critical success and failures. So
they make big swings.
I would say use a thing, but I think because he's temporarily unconscious, I don't get to use 1. Is what I would say.
The goal here is to tell a good story.
Well, then he's out. He's jumped.
Yep.
He is unconscious. So
okay,
take it over to you.
Right, so let's tell the story. So here's what happens. Paul Barrow, fire! He yells, barks that out, and then just a couple big steps, right, and then a leap, and he sees his claws and just passes out. And so these crossbowmen, Gus, you feel like whizzing across you as they're shooting, and they hit the gargoyle, the big gargoyle, and he kind of pulls together as the first one hits. He pulls his wings together to shield him, and they still hit his wings, but you could tell that's a beefier part of him. And while he's distracted by that, Paul Barrow comes crashing in full body, and man, Paul Barrow, you were so close to making yourself like this catapult rock against him, but you just sail under him, so you end up crashing before him. And not only are you going to take some damage, there were a couple crew members who were just brought off of death's door that are now dead.
Oh gosh. What to avoid killing 2, or if we're doing trade-offs, my trade-off is I'll burn my flashback to describe to the people at home what's up with this hole, why did he just jump and do that. If it will, I can still take damage and everything, but avoid killing anyone.
I'll allow it.
All right. So, and also this maybe for the sake of avoiding having to do a whole one-off episode, this will help too. Daddy Derringer found young Paul Barrow when he was just a little cub, but he was pretty self-sufficient. But at some point he found him, in a blood-stained home. The floor had obviously not been cleaned, and it was smeared and then dried and then had darkened. And there were these remnants of things that had been hand carved, and old clothes that are just simply too big. And so when he made his way there, he spent a long time talking with Palbero and trying to convince him to come out of the home, to leave, to come with him and not be alone. And for so long, Palbero wouldn't even talk to him. But he just sat there with him. And eventually, he got the story that his parents, at some point, when he was a child, had been killed. So he was like a child born in blood, and there were body parts, scattered around this area. Someone had come in and attacked his family.
Devin.
Yes.
Light on the gore.
Roger. So there's those things laying around, and it traumatized him. I mean, being born in this violence, and now when he sees not anyone else's, but his own blood, that it causes him to faint.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And very cool. Born in blood is a fucking awesome sentence. In case
it's named my new metal album.
Yeah.
Born in blood, can't look back. Born in blood, my heart bleeds black.
I mean, it's going to be the name of one of his future moves. Once he gets over it, maybe.
The final
well, I don't know. Does Bonnie Tyler have a song called Born in Blood?
She does. It's a deep B cut.
It's a deep B cut.
It's when she covered with a metal band. Yeah.
I'm gonna look and see now what we got.
Born in blood.
Yeah. So instead of you crashing on these people and dying, you land in Gustum's magic soup. And here's what I'll say. I will give you again a choice as choices come, and I will precede this choice to Devin since it says flashback in turn. Devin, you can land in the bowl of soup and have no harm. It will end the bowl of soup's effect. You can land in the bowl of soup and have harm and get healed by said soup, but you're going to take significant harm. So, do you want to end Shane's spell, or do you want to take damage?
Well, because it seems like you're asking Devin in terms of play, then I get to make the choice, and I will just take the harm so that the soup goes on. Is that what I'm hearing? Yep.
And the soup will heal you, because it heals 2d6 every time it can, right? 2d6?
Okay.
Something like that. So it's not bad, but you're going to take some damage.
All right.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You're going to take 22 bludgeoning damage. Could have been a lot worse.
If you'd been raging, that would have been a lot less.
It would have been a lot less. But you were asleep, Cease. So
but you were
you land in this magic soup, and the soup goes everywhere. Ironically enough, healing some of the crew a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently, because then you can kind of coat them. And I will even say, Shane, you can go ahead and roll whatever the heal is to do that. So go ahead. And
it's actually it's just 1d6.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, I got one right here. 5.
5. You heal 5. So you only take 17 net.
Okay.
Darling, what do you want to do?
I have an idea because I have this little bracelet that likes talking to me.
Yeah.
And he has this thing called Harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have the spell Dissonant Whispers. And Dissonant Whispers usually only targets one creature, but I'm trying to get a whole bunch of creatures. Could I have less damage to get a whole bunch of them, or
changes an amplifier?
Yes.
So I like the idea of using Castiel as an amplifier. And Dissonant Whispers is damage plus effect or just damage?
Dissonant Whispers is like a wisdom save, and you do a psychic damage.
Yeah, but there's no runaway effect or stun.
They do have to run away as far as they can.
Yeah, they do run away.
Yeah, so I will say you can use the amplifier to amplify your ability to potentially hit all of the gargoyles. but you will sacrifice the fear mechanic in order to do that. Does that make sense?
Damage.
So it'll just be flat damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you absolutely can do that. I will give you advantage for utilizing your husband's NPC.
Perfect.
Can I use?
It's like your real life comes into D&D. You tell Jins what to do. It's wonderful.
Why did I tell
That's
May to
so
stand
perfect.
behind?
Yeah, why'd you make May stand behind?
She rides up in the car with the sauce cannon.
with sauce cannon.
Sugar and spice are in battle armor.
Oh yeah.
And because it was a spell, I used mind. The roll I got was a 4, so it's 5
Did you
total.
roll 2d6?
I rolled 2d6. The other one was a 1. You don't want that number.
Six.
Oh man, imagine that. Because I immediately, like, everybody gets hit by it, right? Everybody. Like no control. That would have been fun. Yeah. So that you're gonna succeed with a cost. So for the sake of narrative combat, Abon, instead of you rolling damage, what I would like you to do is roll percentage die. And the higher you do, the more impactful your flat damage is going to be, because that does matter to me to some degree. I didn't tell you your impact either.
No, you didn't.
I apologize. It is medium impact because you are potentially hitting every single one of those. And because when we're doing damage, I'd like you to at least have an additional roll for funsies. Percentage roll for me, please.
Okay. Percentage roll, I got an 81.
Pretty good. All right. So you put Dissonant Whispers is a mouth thing, so I imagine you use your voice. So you pull up Cassiel right to your mouth, right, and you whisper all of your terrible things that you're whispering, and there is this like wave of amplification as your voice carries, and you watch as like the waves kind of bend around your allies, and then you see these gargoyles get hit. These gargoyle-esque creatures get hit. The two that are fighting each other go down. Stop moving. The other 4 that are fighting the crew up top, you see them kind of like stagger, and then the crew is able to kill one of them while they're like heavily stunned. And the big guy, because they take damage, but in the effect that they're taking, they're kind of like staggered. And then the big guy, he kind of he doesn't like drop to his knees or anything like that, but you can see that he gets like a defensive stance to withhold the pain that he's under. So he's no longer like this aggressive big monster. Like he is like pulling, shrinking up. He already had his wings shielding him. They're even closer now, like more armor-esque than like this big circle shield. So you've definitely put them on the back burner there. Your cost there. I think your cost is you spent so much time and effort focusing on that your Aegisaur like disappears from the battlefield. You're not able to maintain that and cast this widespread and heavily effective spell. That is end of y'all's turn, and it is only fair to say
I didn't get a turn that time. We started with the monster.
My bust. Your turn, Gus.
What I would like to do is...
But before you do that, Gus, I want to tell you... Sorry, I had to do that. I want to tell you, it's only fair to you to say that you can see the tides of battle shifting in your favor. Go ahead, Gus.
What I also see is the big mama alpha Captain Gargoyle standing in front of me. I see my unconscious fallen brother, who just jumped off a building and whiffed behind me, along with a bunch of like wounded, semi-defenseless folks. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the healing soup. I'm gonna dunk it on my head, cover myself in it. I'm gonna run at the Mama Captain Alpha. I'm gonna dive into its mouth.
Are you going to shapeshift to do that?
I thought it would be big enough to eat me.
No. So you are what, like 6-7 foot? This thing's like when it's standing on its feet, it's probably 11-12 feet tall. So it's not giant, but it's muscle and impact.
I was gonna jump in and then shapeshift into a shunter. What I will do instead is I will shapeshift into Mouse Gustum. I will put on my tiny mouse chef hat, with a grim look of determination in my eye. I will jump into the soup, do a quick backstroke, making sure that I'm covered. I will hop out. I will charge at the beast, and I will shout, "No more be numbed!" as I jump into his mouth. When I reach his stomach, I would like to not wild shape anymore.
No, let's take the trip. Let's take the journey, Dwayne. Let's do it. Can you explain to me all the systems between the mouth and the stomach and what's happening at each stage along the way? And I think you should do rolls. I think you should have to do rolls now. He's fighting against the body itself. This gargoyle Captain Mom's body.
So, I will say that it's going to be high impact. I will tell you the cost could be substantial.
I would like to argue in this moment for advantage. I did lubricate myself in soup that the beast has already shown a hankering for. It should make me go down nice and smooth.
Soup lube.
That was a part. That was an active part of my move, and I will give up the healing soup to do that. This healing soup is ruined by rat butt.
So it doesn't heal him anymore. Is what he's saying. So it's actually an advantage to him.
Can't heal anybody.
Can't heal anybody.
Any bum.
Yeah, man, I'll give you advantage for that. Kill your healing soup, not heal you, and then jump in this guy's mouth.
Yeah. Excellent.
That is gonna be body. 100%.
You don't think that's a heart move? You don't think that's a heart? I saw my brother. I saw the people. I took it upon I put on my solemn hat.
And then out of heart, you went, I'm gonna jump in his tummy.
Can I say for everybody that I have a 2 in each score? I have a 2 in every score. It literally impacts nothing at all. But as the creator of this game, I think it is heart.
See, but to me, it's body because you're trying to crawl to his fucking stomach
but
and
you're
jump
the boss.
into his mouth.
So it's body.
Oh wait, you're both saying the same thing. I like it.
Cool.
Trying so hard to make no difference.
Yeah, that is our shame.
We're saying the same thing.
You can put that on my tombstone.
We're saying the same thing or trying so hard to make no difference.
I got a 6 on a die.
Dang.
Okay. 6 and a 3. Dude.
No, I'm not even. It's more about the hilariousness of it. So you custom power your way into this thing's monster mouth, and I think you're running up, and he more is like, you idiot, and chomps, and Gustum, you have to crawl through its esophagus, into its stomach, and then through its stomach, through its small intestines.
No. I said once I get to
sorry.
I said once I get to stomach.
Yeah, I forgot. I was trying.
This isn't a Devin, but I don't do. I'm not going to encroach on Devin's territory.
Yeah,
Devin's lawyers would like me to fuck up.
It's just esophagus into stomach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, let me show you how much I know about anatomy. I'm gonna send you to the butthole.
Straight to mouth to butt.
Once again, Devin's lawyers would crucify me if I did any butthole-related content.
That's true. Dewey Cheatham Now is very specific about who can do butthole content. Yes, you get into his stomach and you wild shape out, or you unwild shape out, and I listen. I have a respect for my co-podcasters, so I'm not going to describe the scene other than use your imagination.
Use a
tiny
noise
mouse
to
in this
describe
thing's
it.
stomach, and a giant. I'm not going to. A giant panda bear is now standing here, and the gargoyle is not. And you can only imagine what that means for all these poor wounded people around. And to some degree, Paul Byra. In addition to the big bad being no longer present, this provides opportunity for the remaining crew above to take action and to finish off the remaining gargoyles, thereby ending our fight. Gustum, you fucking stink. You just do.
Sprout, do the thing!
What do you mean, do the thing?
Press it to who's it?
I have. Where are you? She's gonna have to climb the ship.
Yeah, you gotta climb
just Gus
up this-
standing with
this
his
burning
arms
ship.
spread out, tiny mouse hat on his big panda head as he fucking waddles over to Darling. Sprout! Do the thing.
To be honest, her athletics kind of is not
Yeah, you
the
make it up
greatest
there.
in the world. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, she'll come out and help. And it was like, what happened to you?
Well, I'll tell you what didn't happen. I didn't get nommed. Not today.
Well, kinda.
Not today!
I think you got nommed a little. You just didn't happen to nom anybody.
I'm a spicy... Oh, I'm going back for bits. I'm a spicy meatball.
Okay. But yeah. She'll go in and press the digitating clean, and then look at the fire and all the people and be like, we should probably get everyone off now.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Avon, because there are consequences to everyone's actions, and you guys did a wonderful job in narrative combat. You did. You focused on a threat and you took it out. At no point did anybody have any concern about the fire brewing. So as you're celebrating and talking, there is a large explosion as these engines finally, everything that's left in them explode, and the part of that airship that was like slanted and up the back end, it kind of crumbles and it's now breaking into multiple pieces. And from your vantage point, you watch as a handful of the crew just die from either the explosion or landing onto broken spears and stuff like that. That's true. If you would have went for the ship's butthole and put out the fire, you would get to do that. But no, it's bad. That happens, and there's a shockwave from the explosion. Especially you guys are so close to it. You actually have to like withhold your standing to. Well, not you, Paul Bear. Paul Bear, you're nighty night. But the other
You go
people
flopping
standing.
into the distance.
Well, I mean, I think you just like
Dragged
you're
off
kind of
physics.
pushed along. I don't think you get pushed off the airship. But there is screaming, and the remaining crew are trying to get off. Paul Barrow, one of the wrestlers, dies.
Which one?
The one you like the most of those two?
Cyclone?
No, not Cyclone. He stayed in the back.
Yeah.
Remember?
Your
I
next
called him
favorite.
Frank. Yeah, but I said between the two. You get to make up which one died and which one lives. I didn't name them. They're yours.
That weight is yours to carry, Devin.
Yeah, you get to make somebody who lives and somebody who dies. And the person that lives doesn't have to be a bad person. You just don't like them as much. Maybe
Pinstripes lived.
My
Freaking
advice-
Pinstripes lived.
Oh no! Who died then?
You can think about it.
You're so quick
until we
with
get back to the
Pinstripes, and you had no backup. You had zero plan B.
I got Pinstripes. All we
Yeah.
know is
That's
that
all
he's
you
still
got is
alive,
Pinstripes.
and no one wanted it.
Well, this again. Now that's your choice. You can say that everybody hated him, but it doesn't have to be. Devin's looking at a
Serial
can
Murder
trying
McGee
to
died.
summon up words.
Bomberry.
The berry
The
crusher.
Bomberry died.
Oh my god! Why do I let you guys name things?
He's taking. It's in his notes.
Yep. It is now.
He's gonna. Bomberry's family's gonna find you, dude.
What?
So yeah, that happens, and the rest of the crew is trying to scramble down away from the fire. But again, the fire is still present. Now there is no further threat of another explosion. You know that. Like whatever magic juice was left that was combustible, that was the hit. But there is still this fire that's going to have to be contended with. Or you could just let this forest and airship burn.
Your girl doesn't have magic to take care of a wild forest fire.
I can't make water, but I can control it.
Paul Bearer, I will say that you begin to regain consciousness. Because, like, it wasn't like you got knocked out. You, like, scared yourself out.
For like a moment, right?
Yeah. Enough. So, yeah, you're coming to... And I think you are covered in blood, 100%.
Yeah. So what happens is when he wakes up, he kind of it doesn't happen again when he sees it, right? This time it doesn't happen. But
I think
he's
you're covered
shaky.
in a fresh layer of not your blood.
Exactly.
He takes this thing from like a pouch on his hip, and it's like a totem that he puts on over his head. And he exhales, and he stands up, and he's like, "Is the victory ours today?"
Yeah, but like casualties and stuff. Hey, you grab anybody that can. Anybody can move. Go with my brother, the Big Bear, Paul Bear. You know him. Go start digging trenches to contain the fire. We don't have water, so we're just gonna have to dig, and the fire can't spread because we'll dig around it, and then it'll hit the trench, and then it can't go any further. So you guys start digging. Sprout, you're with me. Help me get all the wounded. I'm good. Triage them.
Yeah, she's already working on it. She didn't even need to listen to you.
Okay, great. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help.
As we run, to dig a trench, I tell the guys like, "That's my brother. He's very smart, good leader."
I started a lot of fires.
How are you guys getting people off the airship?
I'm coming back up. If I have to,
No,
levels
not
3
you,
levels.
Not you.
Oh.
The wounded.
Yeah, give me a second.
You think about that.
He's
Paul
climbing
Bell,
inside of them, and then
You're right.
half his body's
He's gonna get
inside
of them,
then
unwild
he's-
shape, and then
so
move
he-
their meat suit around.
then he climbs. Like, the front side gets bigger, but the small side still just grappled onto their tongue.
Let me hit him with. I'm gonna go with conjure animals. Let me get 4 beasts of challenge rating 1/2 or lower. Ideally, they can fly.
Yeah. So 4 creatures, half challenge rating below. So yeah, there
So
are
4
these. You
butterflies.
summon these magical creatures because they are magic and they're just manifestations of the area around you. These fey-like creatures appear, and they are. They look and sound like Toa. They're not Toa, but they're that type of bird. And so they're like squawking and almost like bitching in a language you don't necessarily understand as they're helping pull people down. Darlin, you can use those birds, or you can try and do something else to like however you want to get people off the ship. Maybe Darlin's just tossing them over. Like, fuck it. Good luck.
The ones that are injured but like can kind of move on their own. So if I could just spend my 3 uses of bardic inspiration and just tap them all with like viney armor.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right, good luck.
Roll 'em.
I gotta get the more durable
I think
ones.
you burning your inspiration is enough warranted to say that you put armor on them, and in this scenario, you're able to use that armor to act like a gurney, essentially, and you just put them up on the side, and the vines kind of climb them down.
You guys remember Pirates of the Caribbean where he had the big bone cage ball that he like rolled in like a hamster ball? I imagined that, but I was like brambles and just pushing them.
Yeah, so you guys, that's how you hear this voice shout and command the crew, the remaining crew that's still functional, and she says, work's not over, boys. We've got a fire to put out. Quick, below deck, grab what you can, and put out that fire. We have too many supplies here to let it fail here. And you see her barking orders, and the crew that had just kind of crawled down off of the top now is like going into the broken pieces of the back end of the ship, looking for equipment. And she turns to you guys and says, it's a good thing you got here when you did. Thank you.
No worries. You in charge?
Unfortunately, yes, I am. It's, was not expecting this.
Yeah, I know you got like supplies and stuff you gotta get, and like you guys are working on that fire, but when you guys are done, if you could like help us with these trenches, cause like you're gonna burn the whole fucking forest down.
Oh, I agree. In fact, we're going to focus on the trees. The trenches is great for the ground, but the trees are on fire. That my boy, is going to spread.
Well, that's what the trenches are for, because you dig a trench, so there's wood, and it spreads from tree to tree. And then if you dig a trench, it becomes a dividing point, so that what's contained within the trench will burn up, but it can't spread out and it can cause harm.
Sure, but trees can catch each other on fire. Like above your trench is what I'm saying.
Right. So that's part of the trench, is that like there will be trees along that straight line, and those have to be like uprooted.
All right. Well, team effort then.
Yeah, we gotta go. But if you get the fire out, I don't know. Is there water? You guys have water?
Well, water adjacent. They're gonna go grab some of our Tortex gear that essentially is an ice weapons. So we're kind of gonna shoot ice weapons at the trees.
And do that. And hey, I'll cast Animal Messenger, and I'll grab a bird and be like, "Yo, go tell May to get here quick. Load the sauce cannon up with our soupiest soups. Away with you."
Yeah, you do that. One of those, you summon a Toa bird. and it
Animal Messenger is you literally choose an animal in nature.
Oh, what did you choose then?
Any bird nearby. I don't care.
Oh yeah, you see a small bird that's like booking it the other direction, like it's like flying away, like get away, and then you hear oh shit, I gotta go give a message.
Go talk to my wife.
Okay. Oh, she's hot.
She is.
Score. Yeah.
Hell
so, that happens.
Oh, yeah,
and so it takes her crew a little bit of time, but they're able to find a couple of these essentially ice rifles, or they're closer to cannons, but they're not big. They're not like so unwieldy that one person can't carry them, but one person has to use two hands to carry it. And so they begin to essentially cover the trees and the engine with ice as best as possible. The trees are taking a fucking beating, though, right? From the fire and the ice, and the same can be said with the airship. And it's not long before the Panda Express and May with the soup cannon and another one of the wagons has appeared, because they weren't going to let her go alone. Yeah. And so she's
Cyclone.
Now spraying. Cyclone. Yeah. Cyclone's in the wagon with her. He was driving. And then he only felt good enough to come because another wagon was behind him. So yeah, you're spraying soup, you're putting out the fire, and it is not long. It's still probably about an hour or two of work, honestly, just because the size of it. But you're able to put out the fires. The trenches are able to stop the spreading while they're using these ice cannons to eliminate the fire. And it is a gruesome couple hours of work on the back of your combat.
Could I also do a few things to just aid in that?
Yes.
Because I have speak with plants.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell trees to uproot themselves, but I can tell them to move their fucking branches.
Yeah, and I think they move their branches as much as they can towards the ice cannon, making it easier to get the fire out by a lot.
Perfect.
And I think there is one small tree, maybe like a 6-foot tree, that hears you move branches, and he goes, ah! and makes the fire worse until he's put out. Young trees, man.
You had to hear him scream the whole time because you got the spell.
Yeah, you had to hear him scream.
Yeah.
Yep. What else did you want to do?
That's it. I just wanted to talk to the plants to tell them to just move either into help or out of the way.
And that did help. Rolling for soup, new band.
I'll burn whatever spell slots I need to in order to sort out the wounded.
Yeah. I mean, you're able to use your healing spells and burn through them to basically bring the crew that you had already pulled together to safety, essentially. Yeah. So the crew is not without losses, sure. But they are significantly better off with your help. Like, otherwise they would have lost the majority of their crew. Because by the time everything was said and done, there's probably 6 or 7 people that were moving around well from the crew. And you have about 10 near you that you've saved.
Hell yeah. I guess with that done, they're working on the fires. I have a thing that I want to do, but it's going to take like time. So I want to wait till like we're clear here.
Okay.
Specifically, I want to cast. You can cast plant growth as like an 8-hour ritual. And it makes every plant within a mile radius like enriched and enriches the earth and the land. So it should be able to help restore a lot of the damage from this fire. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to obviously just make it better instantly, but it's gonna help.
I have a thing now. Let me just make a note.
The land will remember this. No, I'm banking on the land saving me later. That's against the final boss fight. I'd be like, Aegis, I call upon you. Lend me your strength for the spirit bomb. I gave you strength once. Now I need you to return the favor.
So you're not doing that ritual right now, right? Because you want to do that.
I want to make sure that nobody else like needs anything from me. But like, if I'm just sitting here with my thumb up my ass, like I'll get to work on that because it takes 8 hours.
You can't do that. That's my area.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs.
desist.
I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs.
Stay away from that.
Yeah, I think once you stabilize them, you can start that.
Yeah.
Are you going to communicate that to May? So she.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let them know. Like, well, actually, I want to do one other thing first, because there's spells that I didn't know about for druids that I just learned about from sources that we didn't have before. So like one of them is it's like a druid spell where you like have little spirits come out and they like set up camp for you. What was it called? I just learned about it today.
Do you have it prepared?
It's a ritual spell.
It's a ritual.
Circle of the hippie.
It's something like that. You're exactly right.
Paul Barrow, is there anything you want to do while...
Yeah, give me a second.
I'm digging the best trenches you've ever seen. Just like,
Well, right, you did that.
happy to do it.
And the fire is over.
Now?
What are you doing after? Yeah. Is there anything you want to cover? Any story element?
I want to cover up Bomberry. I gotta bury him.
Oh. You have to go look for Bomberry.
I do. I'm digging through the last known portions of the ship.
Yeah, and so as you do that, you find Bomberry. And it wouldn't make sense to cover Bomberry the way you found him. Essentially, he was impaled by a large piece of the broken ship. So, what do you want to do? You can't really cover him up easily.
No one sees it, but they hear like a scream, like rah! I'm gonna rage out and I'm tearing like the inside of this ship apart right now, just out of anger.
Yeah,
and then picking him up after I'm able to clear some debris out, or whatever's away
so you
that's
pull
impaled
him
him
off of this. Yeah.
Yep.
I think because you're so enraged, because I imagine this is a bigger piece. Like he's got a pretty big sized hole in his body, but I imagine you just break off the tip, so you don't have to pull the body all the way up off the, and then you pull him off a much shorter distance.
And then I realize like his mask has fallen to the ground, and I make sure to like stop, pick that up, and then carry him out. And then the rest of the wrestlers, we get together and have like a little, like basically burial for him somewhere kind of out of the way.
Right now, or back when you're with the caravan with the rest of the wrestlers?
No, right now. We're doing it right now.
Okay, so it's you and Pinstripes burying Bomberry.
And Cyclone. I'd have Cyclone would be there.
Oh yeah, Cyclone showed up. That's right. Yeah,
he's a beefy boy. I need him. So.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys do that. Shane, did you figure out what you need to say?
The name of the spell is called Wild Cunning. There's a few different things that it does. Like you can find tracks, and you can find edible forage, clean drinking water, suitable shelter. What I'm going to do is send spirits to bring back wood for a fire, set up a campsite in the area using your supplies. The spirits build the fire in a circle of stones, put up tents, unroll bedrolls, and put out any food and drink for consumption.
Yeah. Okay, you do that, and then you begin your 8-hour.
And then once I let everybody know, like, hey, we're gonna need this camp here tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and they're basically little potatoes. Little potatoes grow arms and legs, and they hop out of a sack and they go around. They're like dragging logs.
I think.
And then they toot.
You know how spuds, when potatoes kind of go a little sideways, they get those weird little things.
They get the eyes.
I think that could be wings for them if they need to flutter up and weird ass.
They're potato sprites. They're potato spirits. Potato pixies.
Yep.
Amazing.
So yeah, they go about the business getting camp set up, and then I go about the business of starting my ritual, which I think for narrative's sake, it's going to involve like Gus going to like the different parts of the surrounding area within the spell's radius, like going to like a little brook to get like some water and like maybe a fish, and like he starts making a meal basically out of all the harvesting mushrooms, and basically whatever's available within the spell's area to start bringing together all the elements together in a meal, and that's kind of the basis of the spell.
Okay, so Shane, I like that. We'll cover that in a minute. Darling, where would you say that you kind of ended up? Are you still like on the ship trying to help like people? I mean, I guess once all the people are down, what are you doing?
After, like, Gus took care of all the people, all the healing, we got them all off. She went probably and helped with some of the fire bits as much as she could. But after it's kind of all settled, she would probably just tell May and Paul that she's going to go get the other group so that they're not sitting there just wondering what's happening. Maybe look at the lady in charge and be like, we have a caravan that can come protect the rest of us. There's more. So I'm going to go get them.
So I want to pause you there on that conversation. So you talk to the captain or the lady in charge, and it should be noted that her hair is like shaved on the sides, and she's got like a medium length mohawk on the top of her head, and she's pretty built. As far as like
women.
No, I mean, come on. It's not excessive, but like most women have like a frame that is not like warrior-esque, right? Well, you could tell she is a combatant, is what I mean by that. There's plenty of muscle there. She's wearing heavy armor, and so she's about 5'10", 6 feet, given whatever, and. Who just mentioned being in Yuri? Paul Barrow? Yeah.
Yep.
So you would know that she is wearing Yuri colors and the Yuri garb, Paul Barrow. And darling, you've been to Yuri, clearly, on your travels as a traveling person, I'm sure, right?
I learned how to make pudding in Yuri.
Yeah, so all of you would recognize these colors then. And especially Gus, you live not far from it.
Yeah.
And so you all recognize the color of the colors of Yuri, right? And I would say, who thinks they're the most recent visitor to Yuri?
I probably would have been within a year of.
Yeah, you're probably the most recent
of our departure. But if I don't know if, darling, if you frequent Yuri more often than that.
I know they travel around everywhere. I just don't know where she left from.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine Gus would probably have hit it, especially you live closer.
Oh, I hit
right. It. So,
May's
you know
right
that
there.
the garb and stuff like that she's wearing is she's one of Yuri's shields, which is like an advanced guard. It's like an elite unit that they have. And she approaches you, darling, as you kind of like wave her down, and she says, well, you must be in charge.
Well, I can be in charge right now. But
and
yeah,
she reaches out a hand to shake like a warrior's handshake where it's like on your wrist. And she says, well, thank you so much for the help. We would have been goners without you.
Yeah, no problem. She'll reach, and I think Darling has dealt with enough customers to know this handshake, but she cannot at all return, like, the warrior's handshake vibe.
Yeah.
She's more of a dainty dancer.
She grabs her forearm with 2 fingers.
Yeah, so this captain looks at you with like determination when she's going to shake your hand, and then when that happens, it's like a softer look comes across her green eyes, and she smiles and says, really, thank you. Our losses, I would have lost even more of my crew.
Yeah, it's no problem. Brothers and I like helping people. It's fine. But we were traveling with a caravan, and they're a little bit up the ways. We didn't want to all bring up here because we didn't know if this was a monster or not.
So it was a few of those. It was his own type of monster.
Yeah. I'm curious about all what happen to cause that, I mean, I feel like you would want to stay here with your folk while I go get the others, but...
of course, yeah. I'm not leaving my crew in the wilds.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. I guess... Do what you need to do. Set up a little patrol, because they're real bad out here if you haven't already done it.
Sure. Well, thank you for the advice. I didn't catch your name.
Darling Derringer.
You want me... Your name is Darling, or you want me to call you Darling? Dear.
My name is Darling.
Oh, I apologize.
My father's choice, but I like it well enough.
Excellent. Well, it is a pleasure, Darling. My name is Captain Swan.
Pleasure to meet you.
And that's where we're going to end the episode.
Ooh! Exciting. Maybe I'll go for a big buff girlfriend this time instead of my husband's character.
Takes off the bracelet.
It throws it in.
Goodbye.
I don't need this no more. Or it's. I'm just gonna put you in this box for now, Cassia.
Turns him upside down, so he can't see.
Yeah.
Cover it with like a little fancy handkerchief.
A handkerchief.
So, Shane, it is your privilege, it is your honor, it is your birthright to roll for humanity. So please and thank you once more into the breach.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what a date is, or like a day of the week or a month or anything like that. So is this would be our fourth roll? Is this our final roll?
This will be our fourth roll, so this is the last time.
Okay. So this is our last roll for It Gets Better. And we're
actually, I lied, because think about March has 5 weeks.
Okay. Okay,
so
cool.
If my dates are...
We got 2 more rolls coming.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm looking
it only
at the
has
calendar
4
now.
Mondays.
Well, let's hope for a good one, because we've had a string of stinkers.
Yep.
So let's go. But you guys have my back, so I'm sure it worked out fine.
Yeah.
Totals. But that's a natural 20.
He meant to listen.
I'm about to say we had a lot of nat 6s. We should be good.
That's so
Nat
cool.
sixes.
I've never rolled this digital die before. It's like a little metal one, and it like rolls and it opens up and it's full of treasure.
That's very cool.
Dude,
very cool.
I got one, but when it rolled a 1, it turned into a mimic. Remember, I was telling you guys that.
that's
It
so
should,
cool.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Neat. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll again. Yeah, so they get an extra roll. That's
a nat 20
a
we
natural
do?
20.
No.
Again?
It is.
Do we just roll again?
Yeah, we're gonna roll again. And it's such a
Wow.
cool animation.
If it's a natural 1, does it take it away? What
It's a
do we do?
17, baby.
Dang, dude.
20, 17. I called out the big rolls, boy.
All right, 57.
Is that $57?
57. That takes a lot of sting out of these last couple rolls. I'll tell you that.
That might be the highest we've ever.
So that
that's-
it is the highest we've rolled in a single roll. So that
2017.
brings us
Let's go.
to a total of $70 for It Gets Better. I did look at the calendar. That was our last roll for them. What a way to end it out.
Think about it like this. First few weeks were what? 3, 6,
It was
3.
3, 7, 3.
And literally, it got better. You just gotta hang in there.
It literally
Got better.
So we did 2017. I just want to, for the sake of knowing, that's 3d20. If I roll one more and I get a 12, it will be 69. I do just want to see if I can get 4d20 to be 69. I never rolled that before in the Discord. It's a 13!
70.
Close.
Not today,
Next time.
Satan.
Yeah, so yeah, join our Discord. You can roll 4d20 every day to try to roll the magical number 69. Maybe one day you'll get it.
Bro, that was so close. Look at the disappointment.
I've never gotten it
bud.
before. I don't do
It's
it
all right,
super
bud.
often, but
So yeah, let's do dumb dad jokes or stupid
well,
jokes.
just dad
that we're doing.
jokes. Just call them just
Yeah,
dad
well,
jokes.
Some of them are
it's
dumb.
not. I don't think all dad jokes, anyways, or bad puns, or like the jokes, the groans. So here is mine. I went to the doctor, and he told me I had to stop masturbating. And I said, "Doctor, why?"
Is that the setup?
Yeah, that's the setup.
Okay.
I think I've heard this is why I won't
Because
say
you're
it.
being too hard on yourself. I don't.
No, it's. He says, because I'm trying to examine you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Why?
Yeah. I was waiting for like a second sentence there. That threw me off. Good though.
Shane.
What's the best part about communist jokes?
Everybody gets one?
Everybody gets it. You get to tell me off, Dwayne.
Tell him off. Tell him off.
Yeah, S my D.
No,
You nerd.
You slam dunked, you dude. You got slam dunked.
Avon.
Why shouldn't you trust trees?
Oh, because they're full of treason.
That's pretty good. I don't think that's it.
That's pretty good.
Because they're always come autumn,
leafing.
they're always changing their colors.
Oh, that's
Nah,
good.
they seem a little shady.
We're right there. The whole
All
time.
of those
We
were
rewrote
good.
that joke a couple times just now.
All good.
We
Yeah.
found
All
a
those are good.
couple winners.
Yeah. Devin.
There was a terrible storm last night. I lost 25% of my roof last night. Oof.
That's good, man.
I don't like you.
I like that one a whole lot. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to change 25% to a fourth because I think it'll flow better verbally. But
I like
Damn,
a
that's
quarter.
A quarter of
Lost a quarter of my roof.
yeah, that sounds good too. Whenever you say percentages, it's rough.
You know what? Let's
on
really
the
get into the workshop on this, boys. let's pick every word apart until we have the perfect joke.
the perfect joke.
I appreciate it. Well, that's what
New
we've been doing
podcast.
here. Really, we're just building up a stand-up set for someone to go
Really
and for
is.
60 minutes tell dad jokes.
We go through
The
the literal 400 hours of Lawful Stupid content, and if we are lucky, we can get a type 5 out of it. We can edit it down to like 5 very funny minutes.
Oh yeah, we could. 100% we could. So Devin, as we always say,
Why does it look like a Japanese flag?
we love you. Bye.
Now that I know the secret behind them, they're very funny.